Chapter 34, Downtown Chokecherry. Truckee pinned the gas pedal to the floor so hard Casey thought the U-Haul's engine could explode at any moment. Casey felt like he was in a Grand Theft Auto video game as they split lanes weaving down the highway. Truckee tapped the brakes to prevent rear-ending a minivan with the family stick figures lined up across the back window. Casey reached for the dashboard and a sharp pain bolted through his chest. Damn, that hurts. There's gonna be an insane bruise on your chest, but better a bruise than a crater. I still can't believe Billy Geronimo is behind all this. I wanted to work for him. I should have listened to Piper right away. She got weird vibes from him. She's the keeper. Truckee swerved to avoid a semi and went on the shoulder. The rumble strips gave Casey's chest an unwelcome vibration. I can't believe Geronimo's going around killing people and stealing their oil. I feel duped, but I'm gonna make sure he can't do it again. I just hope he's still at P's and Q's. Hey Siri. Truckee barked at his phone. Call future Mrs. Smoot's work number. A blue dot blinked on Truckee's phone and a moment later Siri responded. Calling future Mrs. Smoot's work phone. After a few rings. P's and Q's. Nita, baby girl, how are you? Who's calling? There was barroom noise and live music playing in the background. That's funny, sweetheart. Hey, is that asshole Flipper singing in the background? Cut the shit, Truckee. It's Friday night. I'm swamped. What's up? It's not even open mic night. Did you guys give him a gig? I'm 2 seconds away from hanging up. Okay, fine. Quick question. Is that treasure hunter hanging out in the VIP section again tonight? What's it to you? Hoping to score an autograph. Can you just tell me? I'll tell you if you promise to never call me your baby girl again. Truckee crossed his fingers on the steering wheel. I promise. In that case, yes. He showed up a half hour ago and he's hanging out with the owner right now. Nita hung up. Thanks, baby. She can't hear you, Casey said. But that's great. He's still there and hanging out with Gleck. Can't believe they let that douchebag sing on a Friday night. You know, I thought it was maybe Gleck behind all this, but I never expected Geronimo. Doesn't mean Leo Gleck isn't still involved. He's the type of guy that would introduce Geronimo and Gunner to someone like the guy from Oil and Gas. Truckee took the exit for downtown. Keep this in mind. Gleck thinks he runs the city, calls himself Mayor Gleck for giggles. In some ways, he does run the city because he owns half the major establishments in town. Plus, he commands an army of loss prevention agents he uses to control his enemies. Gleck usually posts a few agents at his VIP door at the pub. I think I saw them the other night. Look like Secret Service agents. That's them. I also heard Gleck's got half of CPD and most of the local politicians on the payroll, so he's untouchable. Truckee's mention of CPD made Casey think of Piper and her father. So Piper, the girl I'm hanging out with, her father is senior in CPD. I wonder if he could help us out. Hopefully he's one of the good guys. If we get into the VIP section and apprehend Billy G and get out of there alive, it could help to have someone senior at CPD to open the front door for us. You should call your girlfriend, but don't give up any of the details to her father. Why is that? What's your father-in-law's rank? We've only hung out twice. Piper referred to him as Commander Banks. Okay, I'll give you two scenarios. First, if Commander Banks is on Gleck's payroll, he'll call P's and Q's the instant we're off the phone and Geronimo will disappear. Second, if Banks is clean and you tell him we're about to pick Geronimo up, even though he's not a fugitive, what do you think the commander will do? Call us off and send CPD units there himself? Bingo! And what if one of those CPD officers is on the payroll? I get your point. So we tell Commander Banks we're bringing in a unique criminal we don't know what to do with because of other illegal activity and publicity reasons? Worth a shot, Truckee said. Just wing it as you go. That usually works well for me. Casey called Piper and she answered after 3 rings. How'd it go, Casey? You okay? Hey, Piper. Yeah, it went well. We got him. Nice work. I tried figuring out Gunner's boss but kept hitting dead ends. I'll pick it back up tomorrow. No need. We found out who it is. Billy Geronimo. Serious? I told you he was off. You definitely called it. She sounds hot, Truckee whispered. Casey put his index finger up to his lips as if that would slow Truckee down. Found out Geronimo is planning on flying out first thing in the morning, so we're gonna go get him right now. So I have a huge request that may involve your father, but I don't want to give him too many details about it. Is that okay? I'm tracking. Hold on. Let me go in the other room where he's hanging out. Awesome. Do you think you can put it on speaker for him to hear? Of course, 1 sec, she said. Hey Dad, one of my close friends has a work-related question for you. Mind if I put him on speaker so you can talk? Sure, I guess. Thanks. Okay, he can hear you, Casey. Sorry to disturb you so late, Commander Banks. My name is Casey and I'm a fugitive recovery agent with Outlaw Hunters. I have a high-profile criminal that may be involved in some illegal activity beyond our interest, to include possible murder and extortion. What evidence do you have and how do you know my daughter? Commander Banks had a deep baritone voice. I have a phone used by the subject's employee that includes a chat of them discussing a missing person we believed was murdered murdered. It may be enough to get a confession, but it's beyond our scope at Outlaw Hunters. Do you mind if we drop him at CPD headquarters tonight? It's time sensitive, sir. If what you say is true, I'll call the duty officer and we'll have people there ready to question him, Commander Banks said. How do you know my daughter again? Thanks, Dad. I'll let you make the call while I finish talking to Casey. There was the sound of shuffling feet. Hey, Case, I took you off speaker. Did she just call me Case? Are we in the nickname phase already? I'm really sorry I interrupted your family's evening, but it's tonight or never on Geronimo. That's crazy it's him, but it makes sense now. Let me know how it goes and be careful again. I want to hear everything that happens. Will do, Pipe. Casey ended the call. Truckee laugh. That was adorable. Pipe and Case. You guys could start a tobacco accessories company. Make little leather tobacco pouches for people to carry their corncob pipes in. Good gambit there with Commander Banks with the possible murder and extortion words sounding like a seasoned bro on your first night. Except I might have misled the father of a girl I'm really into, so that's not a good look on me. It's like they say, the means always justify the ends, buddy boy. Guy like Commander Banks knows that by now. Truckee pulled the U-Haul to a stop a few blocks short of the pub and rolled down his window. What are you doing? Casey glanced out his window and saw a sign twirling in the air. Oh. What's up, hype chick? Truckee called out. Hey, darling, I hope you're not moving away on me. Hype chick hopped on the truck's running board and kissed Truckee on the cheek. Wow, are we doing some cosplay tonight? I see your friend wore his costume. What are you supposed to be? Hey, hype chick, Casey waved. I'm Buffalo Man. Just the type of mammal I've been looking for. Hype chick leaned through the window. How's that boombox working out for you? Like a dream, thanks again. Had a question for you. Truckee placed a rolled up wad of cash into Hype Chick's hand. You see any of Gleck's secret agents around tonight? Nothing secret about those guys. The usual couple in P's and Q's, but most of them are at the Nakota Club tonight. Leo gave them the night off and flew in some dancers from Vegas to wet their whistles. Music to my ears, Truckee said. Maybe I'll see you over there later. If you and Nita weren't such a thing, I'd save us all a private booth. Bring your beast along for the party. You'll be the first to know if I'm ever available. Truckee winked at Casey. Gotta run though. Give me love. Hype Chick turned her head and Truckee kissed her cheek. Later, fellas. I think part of me wants to be you when I grow up, Casey said. The other 90% wants to be the total opposite. Truckee grinned. Life goals, buddy, but that's how you work in an informant network. I could tell you all day long, or I could show you once like I just did and see all those light bulbs floating above your head. That was pretty cool, I have to admit. That's great Gleck let his guys off, but the Nakota Club's not very far from here, is it? Not far at all, and they're probably all still carrying weapons. Truckee put the U-Haul in drive. I'm gonna cruise the block and park in the back alley. They drove by the front of P's and Q's at a crawl. That's Geronimo's Resvani parked out front. He drove it out to Knife River the other day and joked he would let me take it for a spin. I don't think a security guard liked that idea, and my coworker certainly didn't. Speaking of security, I see King Kong is out front, Truckee said. He's thrown me out a few times over the years. Maybe I can call Anita back and see if she can open a back door for us. No need. Herc's day job is the customer service rep at Outlaw Hunters. Met him there the other day. He'll let us in. Look at you go. That means we just have to deal with a couple of LPA dudes at the VIP door, Geronimo, and any of his personal security guards in the VIP section. We're still going to go in quick and hard. What are you going to use for weapons? Truckee parked the U-Haul in the alley behind the pub. He pulled a fresh roll of duct tape out of a Home Depot bag on the floor. My hands are the deadliest weapons I have. Plus, weapons bog me down when I'm trying to hog tie someone, so I'm good with just tape. Casey clutched his clubs. Buffalo Man and his sidekick. Duct tape, dude. I'm not your sidekick. We're partners. The 60-40 variety. Shoot, we're doing this Geronimo gig pro bono. What's the plan anyway? Herc lets us in, we blaze in and take out the LPA guys at the VIP door. We burst into the VIP section and neutralize any other threats, tackle and restrain Geronimo, and get him over to CPD as fast as possible. Sound good? Truckee peeled back a small strip of duct tape. The only thing I would add is a kick in the balls for Flipper. Otherwise, it's perfect. Let's roll. Casey lumbered down the alley with Truckee at his side. It was dark and the only light came from a flickering street lamp. It smelled of spilled liquor and vomit, and grime tugged at his boots. Two patrons from the bar came around the corner with cigarettes in their mouths. They cocked their heads when they saw Casey, and one of them said, "What the hell?" They rounded the corner and saw Herc with his arms crossed. "What are you supposed to be?" Herc grabbed his radio. "Herc, wait, it's me, Chell's new FRA, Casey." Herc peered at his face. "Your voice sounds familiar, but I can't recognize you with the costume on. Who's your friend?" I'm duct tape, dude. Truckee twirled the roll of tape on his wrist. Oh, no, you're the guy who was messing with Nita. Had to kick you out a few times. I don't want any trouble tonight. I'm gonna get up early for back-to-back-to-back swim practices with my kids. We just took down Gunner, Casey said. We're about to grab his boss. Can you put your outlaw hunter's hat on for a moment and just let us know if any of Gleck's guys show up? Herc sighed. This is the last thing I need tonight, but fine. Go quick. I need to be off by midnight. We'll be in and out, I promise. Casey opened the door. Flip was singing over the microphone to a full house. In the crowded midsection of the bar, patrons were raising glasses and dancing to the beat. I'm gonna go unplug his mic quick, Truckee said. Just stay on my heels. Casey cut through the traffic. People took notice of him, turning to stare. A few patrons took their phones out for pictures and videos. Casey and Truckee cleared the crowd and spotted the guards at the VIP door at the same time the guards noticed them. Casey went for the guard on the left who was reaching for his inside pocket. Casey struck his clubs low right, mid left, high right. The third blow sent the guard's head into the edge of the bar table and his body collapsed to the ground. Casey spun toward the other guard in time to see Truckee spear him against the wall. The guard threw an elbow at Truckee's back, but Casey drove his club through the guard's forearm with an audible crack. Truckee threw an uppercut punch that connected with the guard's chin, sending him to the ground next to his colleague. More patrons noticed the commotion and circled around the bar to see what was happening. Flip's microphone squawked as he cut his song short. Truckee? Nita called out from the bar. What are you doing? Hey, baby girl, I'll be right back. Ready? Casey clutched his clubs as he looked at Truckee. Truckee nodded. 3, 2, 1. Casey exploded through the door, sending shards of wood into the room. A group of scantily clad women sat on the laps of several men in oversized leather lounge chairs. Geronimo was in the center of the group, a woman on each knee. Casey recognized his security guard from Knife River, Alan, sitting next to him. The seated men peered at him, amused like he was tonight's encore entertainment. Clubs poised. Casey sprinted at Geronimo. The women screamed as they jumped out of the way. Geronimo crossed his arms into an X in front of his face, but Casey tackled him and their bodies collapsed in a pile over the chair. Alan lunged at Casey, but Truckee caught him from behind and slammed his face into the corner of a table. Get off me! Geronimo squirmed and threw an elbow at Casey that cracked his temple. His clubs flew out of his hands and bounced across the floor. The room blurred except for Geronimo on top of his body, raining punches at his face. Casey threw his hips up and tossed Geronimo aside. Geronimo fumbled a pistol out of a holster inside of his jacket, but Casey kicked it out of his hands. They scrambled to their feet in fighting stances, circling each other. What the hell are you doing? Geronimo spit at his feet. Why are you attacking me for no reason? No reason? How about the fact that you have at least 10 oil drills with Lord knows how many bodies buried beneath them? You don't know what you're talking about. Geronimo backed away. Casey funneled him into the corner of the room. Did you order Gunner to kill Parson, or did he have freedom to make those shots on his own? How do you know about Gunner? Doesn't matter. Casey looked over and saw Truckee on top of Alan wrapping his hands together with tape. Why would you do it? You had it all. Geronimo's eyes darted around the room. Gleck, what's the meaning of this? A bald, chubby man in a business suit asked. On the table next to him was a walkie-talkie and glass of whiskey. You're the big shot around here? Casey asked. Yeah, I'm Leo Gleck. Who the hell are you and what's with the costume? You can call me Buffalo Man. I'm taking Geronimo in to answer for his crimes. Gleck let out a belly laugh. Look, you freak. Call ahead next time you think about coming in and trashing in my place, will ya? We can handle this like professional businessmen. I'm not going anywhere with you. Geronimo snarled and charged at him. Casey swung one of his clubs and smacked Geronimo across the jawbone, sending him crashing to the floor. Casey pinned Geronimo into the ground with his knee, and Truckee cinched Geronimo's hands and ankles with tape. Geronimo's fedora hat, wallet, phone, and keys were sprawled out next to him. Pretty stupid move there, kid. Gleck snickered. I've heard all about your business activities. Casey glared at him. Maybe next time I'll be hauling you away. I don't think so. Gleck hit the button on his radio. Code red, boys. Need everyone to descend on P's and Q's now. 2 subjects, one of them dressed as a buffalo. That's right, a freaking buffalo. Shit, we gotta go. Truckee pulled at Casey's arm. Grab Geronimo and let's book it. Casey scooped Geronimo's keys and Truckee helped him lift Geronimo's body. A few of Geronimo's teeth clattered to the floor. Geronimo was incoherent. He felt like dead weight to Casey. You boys won't get far, Gleck called out after them. You'll pay for this shit, I promise you. Hurry! Truckee pushed ahead into the main bar. Here, take him. What are you doing? Casey caught Geronimo's body as Truckee let him go. Truckee whispered into Casey's ear. I saw you grab his keys. You take him in the tank to CPD headquarters. Drop him off with the duty officer and I'll be waiting behind headquarters in the U-Haul to pick you up. Someone was approaching with a guitar in his hands at Truckee's back. Truckee, look out! Truckee spun around and saw Flip crowding him. You screwed up my set! Serves you right, Flipper. Truckee kicked his boot at Flip's crown jewels like he was punting a football, but Flip was quick to react and block the kick with his guitar. The collision knocked Flip around and Truckee was on his back with Flip's head tucked into his bicep. Go, Buffalo Man, get out of here, Truckee yelled. There was a sound of duct tape stretching out, followed by Truckee promising to mute Flipper. Casey dragged Geronimo's body through the crowd. Patrons were in a frenzy, most of them with their phones out, capturing the entire scene. Casey burst outside with Geronimo. Herc was pacing. Gluck's guys are on their way over. You gotta go. Help me throw Geronimo in the back. Casey grabbed the keys and unlocked the tank's door. Herc helped him throw Geronimo in the back seat and slammed the door behind him. The sound of squealing tires made them both look down the block. Better get out of here, quick. Casey jumped in the Resvani tank's driver's seat and fired it up to the sound of roaring mufflers. He clicked on his seatbelt as Gluck's agents descended on him and blacked out SUVs. Casey slammed the gas pedal and the tank launched at the incoming SUVs. Arms stretched out of SUV windows and muzzles flashed. Casey's knuckles were white on the steering wheel and his back jammed into the seat. Bullets struck the front windows with ting sounds that left shatter marks. The SUVs formed a V in front of him like a police maneuver to block an approaching vehicle. Let's see what this thing can do. Casey pushed the gas pedal to the floorboard and struck the front edges of both SUVs. The SUVs flew away in reverse circles as the tanks zipped out of the area. Casey turned past the Nakota Club and saw more of Gluck's men file into SUVs. Stop and think about what you're doing, Geronimo said from the back seat, his voice cracked. What are you after here? I can give you the world. Women, money, fame, glory. Just pull over and it's yours. I could never work with someone like you or Gunner. Casey cranked the wheel to the left and turned onto the west side bridge. Geronimo flew against the side window. He grunted in pain. I can't believe you of all people could do this, Casey said. Why wasn't treasure hunting enough? Why did you have to kill and steal oil from innocent North Dakotans? Because I could, kid. Geronimo spit. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but I want you to remember something. There will come a point in your life where you realize the most amazing thing a man can feel is power. Raw power to decide life and death. You think you can play God? Bullets hit the rear window and Casey saw SUVs in his mirror. They were driving through Prairie Rose Park. He tried to remember which way to go and spotted a map program on the tank's display panel. He glanced at the map and saw a main road that went to CPD, past the library. The most direct path was through a field. Not a God, just someone who can do whatever the hell I want. You think by taking me to the police station you can stop me? I'll be out of the state by morning, I promise. I'd like to think bringing you to the police would help. You fool. If you pull over now, I can give you the world. You gain nothing by turning me in. We'll see. Casey pretended to turn right toward the road, and at the last moment, he cranked the steering wheel left and plowed through a fence and into a field. The field was full of mounds and rocks. The headlights of the SUVs bounced behind him. He twisted around one boulder and sent the tank airborne as he sped up and over a mound. CPD headquarters was lit up past the next fence. He charged through the fence, taking part of it with him on the tank's front grille. Only one SUV made it through the field, and it stayed back as Casey drove up to the front steps and slammed into the steel barriers at CPD's entrance. Geronimo's body flew forward and landed in the middle of the front seat. Last chance, kid. Geronimo glared at him. You go through with this and I promise I'll come back one day and destroy everything you love in this world. I'll take my chances. Casey ripped Geronimo's body out and marched him into CPD headquarters. The duty officer stood at the entrance, jaw dropped. Are you the guys Commander Banks called about? That's me, and this is the criminal I'm delivering. Casey dropped Geronimo at the duty officer's feet. The police took Geronimo away for questioning. Casey handed over Gunner's phone, and before they could throw Casey into a cell, he ran out the back door of CPD headquarters. The U-Haul truck sat idle, Truckee's arm hanging out the window. Need a ride, partner?